The deadly pursuit. It's 1 a.m. on November 1st, 1943, and the USS Borie is battling its way through the raging storm in the North Atlantic. The waves crash over the deck, and the ship groans under the weight of the tempest. But this storm is nothing compared to what lies ahead. The crew, already exhausted from the constant motion, knows that a far greater battle is brewing beneath the waves. Lieutenant Charles Harris Hutchins, commanding officer of the USS Borie, stands on the bridge, his eyes scanning the horizon through the pelting rain, trying to pierce the inky darkness. The 30-year-old officer is no stranger to the chaos of war, but tonight's hunt is unlike any other. Somewhere out there in the storm, a German U-boat waits to strike. Contact. 8,000 yards away at 170. The voice of the radar operator cuts through the storm's fury. There it is, the enemy. The ship's radar has locked onto something in the dark. The tension in the air thickens like the storm clouds above them. Hutchins's heart pounds in his chest. This is it. His ship has found its target. Turn 170, flank speed. He orders, voice steady despite the storm's violence. The Borie's engines roar to life as the ship lurches forward, charging through the towering 15-foot waves. The crew's adrenaline spikes as they follow Hutchins's command, preparing themselves for the deadly chase. But just 5 nautical miles away, the U-boat is waiting. Under the command of Corvette and Caping Rolf Heinrich Hauptmann, U-405, a Type 7 sea submarine hovers on the surface of the cold sea. The crew is under the cover of darkness, recharging their batteries, waiting for the storm to pass. But the storm isn't the only threat they face tonight. Down below the deck, the hydrophone operator listens intently. The sound of the storm is deafening, but beneath it he hears something else. The telltale signs of a ship's propellers churning through the water. It's faint at first, but unmistakable. High-speed ship, bearing 90. The operator's voice shakes with urgency. He knows what this means. Hydrophone operator reports high-speed ship bearing 90. The warning comes fast and sharp, cutting through the tension in the U-boat's command room. Hauptmann's instincts take over. There are no friendly ships in the area. This has to be an American warship. Prepare to dive, all crew to battle stations. He orders. Alarms scream through the U-boat as the 45-man crew rushes to prepare for action. The sound of boots pounding the metal floors fills the U-boat as the crew scrambles to dive and evade the incoming threat. Meanwhile, on the USS Borie, Hutchins feels the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He can't see anything through the storm, but his radar operator keeps feeding him updates. The crew is tense, knowing that the U-boat is out there, but it's a shadow in the darkness, a ghost. Hutchins grips the wheel tightly, trusting his crew, trusting his instincts. They must find their prey before it slips away. Steady as she goes, Hutchins commands. The radar operator continues to provide coordinates as Hutchins orders course corrections. 2000, bearing 265. The ship turns in the storm, each moment feeling like an eternity as the tension grows. The enemy is so close, but the radar goes quiet. Contact has been lost, sir, the operator says, his voice filled with dread. For a moment, Hutchins is frozen. The U-boat has submerged. The cold realization hits him. This is what the Germans wanted. They know they've been found. They've gone below the surface, slipping into the black depths of the ocean to hide, but they can't escape forever. The deadly game of cat and mouse has begun. Half speed? Any returns on sonar? Hutchins orders, keeping his cool. The submarine is submerged now, and the only hope of tracking it is the sonar. Every moment that ticks by feels like a lifetime as they wait for the next ping, the next signal. Contact, 2,000 yards, bearing 170. The sonar operator's voice brings the crew back to reality. The target is still out there, still lurking beneath the water's surface, waiting to strike. Hutchins's voice is sharp with determination. Turn 170. Full speed. The Borie turns once again, this time with a course directly aimed at the submerged U-boat. Hutchins knows this is their chance. If they can close the distance and launch their depth charges, they may be able to strike a fatal blow. Back on the U-405, Hauptmann listens to the sonar pulses with grim determination. The Borie's sonar is growing louder with each passing second, and the operator continues to track the sound, but it's not enough. He can hear the ship, but the sonar is imprecise. There's no way to aim accurately. The crew aboard U-405 can only wait, listening as the ship draws closer. They're very close, Captain. The hydrophone operator says, panic creeping into his voice. Turn to port! Hauptmann orders, hoping to avoid detection. He knows that with every passing moment, they are running out of time. They must dive deeper out of the Borie's reach. Back on the USS Borie, Hutchins and his crew are closing in. The sonar operator announces the distance. 600 yards. The crew is ready. Prepare port launchers for depth charges. The crew rushes into position. The depth charge racks clatter as the team loads them, each man working with practiced precision. The pressure builds with every passing second. And then, just as they are about to fire, the sonar operator's voice cuts through the tension. Contact has been lost, sir. The U-boat has slipped directly beneath them. The crew holds their breath as Hutchins makes a split-second decision. 500 yards. Now bearing starboard, drawing fast. The sonar operator calls out. Hutchins reacts immediately. Full to starboard. The ship creaks under the strain as it pivots, turning sharply to port, aiming to bring the depth charges into range once more. Hutchins orders the crew to prepare for the final strike. 300 yards, the operator calls. The crew readies themselves for the next step. Hutchins gives the command. Fire depth charges. The heavy metallic thunks fill the air as the charges are launched from the ship. The sea erupts in a massive explosion as the depth charges plummet into the water just beside the U-405's bow. The shockwave punches the submarine, rattling its crew to the core. Flooding in the bow, sir! Comes the grim report from below deck. The pressure is too much. The U-boat is in serious trouble now, but Hauptmann still has a card to play. Surface and man the guns. He orders, his voice steady despite the chaos. He knows that this is his last chance. The U-405 is rocked by the explosions, but it is still alive. The battle is far from over. As the USS Borie sails past, Hutchins watches as the U-405 surfaces behind them, a massive, dangerous beast of war, still firing with desperate fury. Turn on the searchlight! Hutchins commands, the beam of light illuminating the surface of the water. The U-boat is clearly visible now, and the battle is about to escalate into a deadly all-out fight for survival. The final confrontation, the U-405 emerges from the depths, a monstrous steel beast breaking through the roiling sea. The searchlight from the USS Borie cuts through the darkness, casting an eerie glow on the surface of the water. The German U-boat, heavily damaged but still alive, surfaces just behind the American destroyer. The men aboard the Borie know that the real fight is about to begin. It surfaced on our stern. The shout from the lookout cuts through the tension on the Borie. The crew, already battle-hardened, prepares for the next phase of the engagement. Turn on the searchlight. Hutchins commands, his voice sharp and clear, cutting through the chaos of the storm. The beam of light swings across the sea, illuminating the U-405 as it emerges fully from the waves. But the Germans aren't going down without a fight. The moment the U-boat surfaces, dozens of German sailors rush out of the hatches, pouring onto the deck, manning their 20mm guns with terrifying speed. They open fire, sending a barrage of shells streaking across the water, aimed directly at the USS Borie. The American sailors dive for cover, feeling the impact as shells slam into the ship's hull, rattling the vessel and splintering the superstructure. The air is filled with the deafening sound of gunfire and explosions. The storm's fury mixes with the chaos of battle, and the scene is like something from a nightmare. But Hutchins, determined as ever, knows they can't afford to retreat. All guns! Local control, pointer fire! He orders. The crew responds with incredible efficiency, the Borie's 20mm cannons roaring to life. The first few salvos from the Borie's guns are wild, splashing into the water behind the U-boat. But soon the American gunners find their range. Shells tear through the U-405's forecastle, devastating the German gunners. The 20mm guns that were meant to fend off the American assault fall silent as their crews are mowed down. The damage is catastrophic. Heavy losses reported. A grim report comes in over the radio. The German crew is being decimated. but they continue to fight with brutal determination. Despite the carnage, some of the German sailors scramble to ready the 88mm deck gun. The massive cannon is their only hope of turning the tide, but as they get it into position, they face an insurmountable problem. They're too late. The Borie's 4-inch main guns open fire, and the first shells slam directly into the U-405's forecastle. The shock of the explosion rips through the German deck, the force of the blast taking out the 88mm gun and its crew in one devastating blow. The U-405 is now crippled, its guns silenced, and its crew reduced to a few desperate survivors clinging to the wreckage of their vessel. But even though the Germans have lost their heavy guns, they refuse to give up. In a final, desperate attempt to survive, Hauptmann orders the U-405's remaining crew to ram the USS Borie. Ram it! The order echoes across the bridge, and the helmsman steers the ship directly toward the U-boat, knowing full well that this move could be their last. The Borie's crew braces for impact as the two ships collide with a deafening crash. The USS Borie's hull groans as it slams into the U-405, buckling the bow of the German vessel. The force of the impact sends a shockwave through both ships. Inside the Borie, Chief Engineer Kenneth Miles Lucas is already on the move, heading down to the engine room to assess the damage. Water is flooding the lower decks, and the situation is dire. "Get me the repair team," Lucas shouts, but he knows that time is running out. Aboard the U-405, Hauptmann is thrown off balance by the impact, but he quickly recovers and orders his men to prepare for a final stand. "Attack!" he yells, and the German sailors rush out of the hatches once more, ready to fight to the death. They know that this is their last chance. On the Borie, the Americans are prepared. Armed with Tommy guns, pistols, and rifles, they engage in a fierce firefight on the decks of both ships. The close-quarters battle is brutal, with men falling on both sides. The Germans, exposed and vulnerable on the U-405's deck, are no match for the American crew, who have the advantage of higher ground and better cover. The battle rages on, but the Americans have the upper hand. The Germans, though fierce, are slowly pushed back. One by one, the last defenders of the U-405 fall. As the smoke clears, the Americans stand victorious on the deck of the USS Borie. The U-405 is still afloat, but its crew is devastated, its weapons destroyed, and its will to fight all but gone. Despite the damage, the U-405 isn't finished yet. In a final attempt to escape, Hauptmann orders the submarine to move. "Full back, hard to port." The U-boat pulls away from the Borie, but it's clear that the Germans are losing control. The U-405 is badly damaged, and with only 15 men remaining, their chances of survival are slim. Back on the USS Borie, the crew is doing everything they can to keep the ship operational. Deep within the engine room, Lucas and his team fight a losing battle against the rising water. The ship is flooded, and the damage is catastrophic. "We need to keep moving," Lucas says grimly, knowing that every minute counts. But the water is rising faster than they can pump it out. Despite the damage, the Borie's gunners continue to fire at the U-405, but the shots are less accurate now. The American crew is working in desperate conditions, trying to keep the ship afloat while simultaneously targeting the last remnants of the enemy U-boat. As the U-405 pulls away, Hauptmann orders one last Hail Mary: "Prepare torpedoes." The remaining German sailors ready the submarine's torpedoes in a desperate attempt to turn the tide, but the Borie's radar has never lost sight of them. Hutchins, ever the strategist, has a plan. "Disable the searchlight," he commands, and the Borie's searchlight goes dark. The U-405's crew, confused by the sudden loss of visibility, begins to lose their edge. Hauptmann is caught off guard. "Abort torpedo attack! Turn to starboard!" he orders, realizing that their best chance of survival lies in escaping the Borie's devastating firepower, but Hutchins isn't done yet. "Enable the searchlight." The beam of light flickers back to life, and the U-405 is once again in the crosshairs. The Germans scramble to adjust, but they are too slow. Without hesitation, Hutchins orders the helmsman to turn the ship. Aiming directly at the U-405, the Borie charges forward once more, its engines roaring as it closes the distance. The U-405 is cornered. "Ram it!" Hutchins commands, his voice filled with resolve. The Borie charges toward the U-boat, its engines straining as it closes in. U-405 attempts to turn, but it's no use. The Borie slams into the side of the U-boat, the collision shaking both vessels to their core. The damage to the U-405 is catastrophic. The hull is breached beyond repair, and the submarine begins to sink. There's a moment of eerie silence before the first flares shoot into the sky, signaling the German crew's surrender. The U-405 is finished. But the battle isn't over yet.